Greetings, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to my new Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast series. We have been overwhelmed with the responses that people have shared from listening to these messages on my SiriusXM show over the years. Those listeners, and they're sharing my show with their network, telling people about it, telling their family members, their friends, and their coworkers about this show and the impact it's having on their lives. That's the main reason that this show is now #1 for self-help in America, and I'm very grateful. Yet, we realize that many people do not have satellite radio and therefore could not experience for themselves the message. They could not get it for themselves. So we are now sharing these messages with everyone via this new podcast. Enjoy it and share it with your network. And let's help even more people to do more, be more, and achieve more. Tell everybody so that they can live a Wealthy Ways life as well. Welcome to the new Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. And remember, your best is yet to come.
Named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world.
Inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame.
Award-winning singer.
Best-selling author.
And now, here's Willie Jolley.
Come on.
Are you tired of crying and complaining? Tired of feeling like life don't treat you fair? Do you see so many others moving on? Are you steady going nowhere? Have you maybe come to the conclusion that there's nothing at all that you can do? Well, just look in any mirror and you'll see who is really truly stopping you. My. It's up to every one of us to take charge of our life and to make it what we want. If you think that it takes too much time, think again, 'cause I'm telling you it don't. The fact is, it only takes a minute to make up your mind that now is your time to make your run. It only takes a minute, 60 seconds to begin to decide to win. Just get it on. Just get it on.
And we're getting it on one more time right here, live and off the chain across America. I am so excited about another opportunity to be in the big chair, sharing with you ideas, strategies, principles, techniques for super, not ordinary success, but super success. Even in these tough economic times, we're going to share with you ideas and what I like to call tips. Tips stand for techniques, ideas, principles, and strategies for super success. And I'm grateful to be able to be in the chair one more time. I'm grateful for another day at life and another time to do what I do and just share ideas. And as well as to empower and encourage people across the country from coast to coast, border to border, who are ready and excited about their future and excited about living life to the fullest, maximizing their potential and possibilities. So I'm grateful. You know, I always give God glory for everything. I give him praise for everything. So I take a moment in every show to just say thank you, God, for everything. I'm a person who realizes that it's like my friend Wintley Phipps said recently. I was on TBN with Wintley Phipps, and he had told a story, and I had to retell it, I guess is the right way to say, retell it for the audience. He had told it to me privately. About when he went to interview Alex Haley, and he went to Alex Haley's office, and there was this picture of a turtle on a fence. He said, wow, what does that mean? He said, that means that turtle didn't get there by himself. So I'm grateful for the people who have helped me, the people who have blessed me, and then God giving me life and continuing to bless me every day with just life and good health and strength. So I'm grateful. And I know everybody doesn't believe like I do, but I just want to say that it's okay because I know which side my bread is buttered on, so I always give him glory. And now, I've got another barn burner for you today. You know, every week I'm so blessed to have this network of people who I've been blessed to be able to meet and develop relationships with and friendships with, who I can call and say, I need to have you on my show. My audience needs to hear you. People across America, these millions of listeners across America need to hear your message. And they are so gracious. And the biggest challenge is they always say, yes, Willie, I'd love to do it now. We just got to find a time. And their schedules are so hectic that when I finally can lock them in, I'm just so excited. This is one of those people who I've been just excited about getting on. The gentleman who you're going to hear from shortly is a gentleman who is the publisher of Success Magazine. Now, many of you know Success Magazine over the years has been the keystone for great success ideas and for great thinkers and thought leaders. Well, Darren Hardy joined Success Magazine in September 2007 and helped to launch Success Media and the new Success Magazine. He had previously been holding executive positions at personal development-focused television stations and networks. He was executive producer of the People's Network, called TPN, where I'm honored that I was one of the faculty members and I did my motivational minutes there. He is the president of TSTN and the Success Training Network. He has been the president and CEO of a private equity investor firm, and he became a millionaire at the age of 27. He was an entrepreneur who had a dad who really encouraged him to work hard, to have discipline. And he has built success businesses over the years, and just an incredible gentleman, incredible guy. He lives in San Diego, but he commutes back and forth to Dallas where Success Magazine is published. He is a thinker, and he has a book now that I've got to share with you. It's called The Compound Effect, Multiplying Your Success One Simple Step at a Time. I was working one day, and I got an email from a good friend of mine, Greg Gilbert. Greg Gilbert is a former telecom executive who brought me in to speak for his team some years ago in Arkansas. And he and I have developed a friendship, and we've remained friends over the years. And so he sends me this email. He says, Willie, I've got to share with you. I just finished 2 incredible books, and I want to let you know. One of those books is your new book, Turn Setbacks into Greenbacks, which I was grateful for. He said the other book is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. You've got to read it. You've got to read it. So I called Darren because I'm grateful again. Success Magazine featured me in their magazine earlier this year. And they renamed me the Comeback King, and I'm grateful for that. But I called Darren. I said, Darren, this is exciting. I got to have you on my radio show. And so he was so gracious. We just had to. This has been months trying to get him on. So because he is a busy man. So I've given him an introduction, but he can fill in the places where I didn't, because he's got a lot of stuff he's done and a lot of great information to share. Darren, are you with me, my brother?
I am, Willie, and thank you very much for that very gracious introduction. I appreciate it.
Well, it's all true, and you've done a lot of things in your short life, because you're still a young man, and you've done a lot. Tell people a little more about Darren Hardy and who he is and where he came from and so forth.
Well, as you said, I mean, I got a good beginning by my university football coach father in terms of understanding the benefits of hard work and discipline and consistency. But I think that the real light came on for me when I was 18 years old. I attended a seminar that I was invited to by a stranger that I met in the lobby of a restaurant waiting for a table. And that's when, the switch really sort of flipped on for me, and a whole new world opened up. And I really saw that if I set my mind to something, I could achieve anything I set out to. And so literally by the end of the year, with that sort of a mindset, I was earning a 6-figure income at 18 and built it into a $5 million company, and then by age 24 was earning $1 million a year, and by age 27 had a company doing $50 million in revenue, and so that was really all attributed to the exposure to personal development and self improvement, and the rest has been an incredible journey ever since.
Well, you said something there. I think it was some great pearls I want to make sure people get. One, I wrote a little note here that you attended a seminar, and many people have opportunity to go to seminars, but they don't. They have opportunity to listen to motivation and read books, but they don't. I'm grateful for the people who listen to this show. They are They are into motivation and self-development. But you've really focused on the fact that that was one of the keys to your success, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the first one. That was the first day that changed my life. 18 years old, walking into a seminar. I've never been to one before. And then the second one is in 1994 when I walked into a seminar, and that's where I met the man who ended up becoming my mentor, Mr. Jim Rohn. And he said some things to me that day in his seminar to the whole audience that totally changed it around for me once again. And that's when I was able to take things to a whole nother level.
Well, for those who don't know the name Jim Rohn, if you're a success aficionado like myself and Darren and so many others, you know that Jim Rohn was the dean of success philosophy. He was a philosopher of success and one of my favorite people to listen to and read. And he passed away, I believe, earlier this year. Correct, Darren?
Yeah.
And but get his materials and get his programs and get his videos and audios and books, because I listen to them still quite often and get so many powerful pieces about it. One of the pieces that Jim said that I always relay to people is, if you go into a multi-million-dollar home, it always has a library. Now, that person who bought that multi-million-dollar home, did they buy it because it had a library, or did the library allow them to buy it? And so that's one of the things, that what you are what you input in. Your input determines your output. And Darren has done that. We're going to talk about this book. This is an incredible book. Real quick, why did you write this book, The Compound Effect?
Well, quite candidly, Willie, I wrote it because I was ticked off.
Yeah.
I've seen a real injustice taking place in our society. People are being misled, tricked, bamboozled, and even taken for fools. I mean, really, we've lived in sheer abundance the last 50 or 60 years, and most everything's been dropped at our feet and available at our fingertips, and I think it's made us lazy. I mean, physically as well as maybe and mostly mentally. So we've developed this instant gratification addiction and microwave mentality. We want results and success to be immediate. We want it with very little effort. And at the same time, we've got all this mass commercial marketing that has become even more competitive. So to compete for our attention, they're constantly bombarding us with increasingly sensational claims to get rich, get fit, get younger, get sexier, all overnight with very little effort and only 3 easy payments of $39.95.
When I saw I said, that's a great line. Look, we're going to come back. We got to take a quick break, but we're going to come back. I want to hear the rest of this, what motivated you to do this, because this is an incredible book. Folks, you're listening to my friend Darren Hardy, and this is Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Show across America. For sure, for sure, for sure, the best is yet to come.
What is our friend if you cannot depend on them when you're in need? Said you need a friend.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and if you're enjoying this information you're hearing on this podcast, I want to invite you to get even more great information on my new free gift page on my website. Go to wjspeaks.com and hit the All Access badge. On that page, you will find information and resources specifically designed to help you to have greater success. Free ebooks, music, all sorts of interesting and informational interviews for my XM show. I'm telling you, this is a great page. And why do I do it? Because I've learned that the more we give, the more we get. And the more we help other people to grow and go to the next level, the more we receive in our business. So we want to help you. Tell your friends about it. Go to Facebook and get my information. Go to my website, get my free resources, and get on wjspeaks.com and hit that All Access badge. It looks like a backstage pass. Click it. You'll get behind the scenes information to the special page to help you grow. All we want in return, all we ask is that you pass it on, because the more you give, the more you get. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Have a great day.
Gotta have faith. Gotta have faith. Walk by faith. Talk by faith, move by faith, and live by faith. You gotta have faith. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Woke up one morning, didn't know what to do. Had so much pressure on me. I cried, oh Lord, please help me through. He said, open the word and but must succeed. There is nothing, no, nothing you cannot achieve. No, inspire your faith. As you believe in you will receive. Oh, inspire your faith. The measure you give, the measure you live in, the measure you get. Yeah.
Oh, it's by your faith. As you believe, so shall you think, and so shall you achieve. So you got to believe big. You got to think big. You got to dream big. All things are possible if you can just believe, but you got to also be willing to work. And that's why I love this book, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And he's a success coach, a success connoisseur. He's the publisher of Success Magazine. So he has all of the great thought leaders who are constantly being featured in that magazine. And in his book, the people at the beginning of his book, just incredible. A lot of my friends and people I've interviewed on the show, Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield, David Bach, Jeffrey Gitomer, we just had a couple weeks ago, Donnie Deutsch, Chris Widener, we had not long ago, Dennis Waitley, T.R. Becker, Mark Victor Hansen, who we had last week on the show, Stedman Graham, who we've had a number of times, Robin Sharma, who we've had, Connie Podesta, Tony Alessandra, my good friend who's been on the show. So many have been there, and Don Hudson, who's going to be on later today. So, this is incredible that we have these people who are all talking about this book is one of those revolutionary books. Just as Think and Grow Rich was one of those books that was revolutionary, and Rich Dad, Poor Dad was one of those books that set off a firestorm. This is one of those books, and he talks about it. And what he was just sharing, Darren, wanted to jump back on where you said you wrote it because you just got angry. All of the people on television who giving you these sensational claims. Oh, buy this and tomorrow you'll be a millionaire. And you and I both know that that's like saying buy this weight loss program where they say tomorrow you'll be two easy payments of $99 and use this machine for a week and you'll be looking like flat abs. You and I both know that doesn't work.
Right, exactly. And when you are at the center of this entire industry of self-improvement and personal development, and there are 5,000 books produced in this space every single year, and most of them end up on my desk, and we're sorting through, all the advice and all the expert information that's out there. And when you digest it, filter it, and then try to narrow down, an amazing clarity emerges. What are the basic truths? What are the fundamentals that really work? What are those things when you take out the fat and the fluff really, really matter consequentially to somebody producing results in their life, real world, tangible, streetwise, practical success tips and tactics. And that's really what this book is about. Willie, the truth about success is as simple as this. There are not 5,000 things one needs to do well to be successful. There are about a half dozen things that need to be done well. They just need to be done 5,000 times over. And that's really what this book brings clarity and focus to, are what are those half dozen things, and then a specific and actionable plan about how to do them well. And if you master the fundamentals, you repeat them consistently over an extended period of time, the payoff is extraordinary. And that's really what it's all about.
I love this. In the introduction of the book, you said, from my vantage point, I get a lot of teachings and books and materials come past my desk. Haven't seen it, read it, and heard most of it, I can no longer be fooled by the latest gambit or self-proclaimed prophet with the newest scientific breakthrough. Nobody can sell me on gimmicks. I've had too many reference points. I've gone down too many roads and learned the truth the hard way. As my mentor, the great business philosopher Jim Rohn said, there are no new fundamentals. Truth is not new. It's old. You've got to be a little suspicious of the guy who comes over and says, hey, come here. I want to show you my manufactured antiques.
Right.
You can't have manufactured antiques. They've got to be there. They've got to be antiques that have stood the test of time. And that's why these principles that you share are just insurmountably successfully put in the book, and I just love it. The compound effect in action. You talk about that in chapter 1, and you talk about some of the success inhibitors people face in today's instant fix cultures. So what are some of the things that come up over and over again?
Yeah, well, I think we've lost sight of our roots, Willie. What made us great as a burgeoning nation, society, and culture, our character was once chiseled and forged by hard work, discipline, and even struggle and strife, and it pushed us to become more and do more than we even thought ourselves possible. And
so you're saying, so Darren, you're saying struggle and strife does make you better. Am I right?
It's part of it's part of what it's the chisel mark that ends up developing and forging your character. Absolutely. It's part of the process.
Absolutely. Growth. Absolutely. Folks, one of the things I want you to listen to throughout this interview today, and I always encourage you to take notes, is that the same hammer that breaks the glass is the same hammer that forges the steel. And so if you're going to be successful, you've got to go through something to get to something. And that's what Darren has shown so wonderfully in his message, that you've got to grow you. And your dad made that, helped you to develop that, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he was a no pain, no gain kind of guy. And if you were weak at something, it doesn't matter if you joined an organization where people were more talented, more experienced, had more access to resources, you could always outwork them, last longer, be more consistent, and be more persistent. And in the end, the tortoise always beats the hare. If you're just tortoise with your consistency and your relentless hard work and discipline, you can beat anybody at anything, anytime. And I adopted that philosophy and believe that to be true, and then have proven it in many different environments, that you don't have to be the smartest or the most talented or the more skilled. You literally just have to be the most hardworking, disciplined, and consistent, and outlast everybody else, and ultimately you'll win in every endeavor.
All right, so going with that, because you've set us up, I love that. How do you define the compound effect?
Well, the compound effect is essentially an operating system. It's the underlying foundation or core operating system under which all success is built on top of. I mean, let me give you an example. You could take the best, most world-class software there is, but if you install it on a computer with a faulty operating system, it won't work. I mean, you could take Adobe Photoshop CS5 and put it on a computer whose operating system doesn't work, and it won't perform to its capability. It will be buggy, it'll be erratic, it will crash, it might not work at all. So if you didn't know about it, you might think it's the software that wasn't working, right? It's the book that didn't work, or the seminar that didn't work, or the coach that didn't work. And it's like a lot of people's life, They install the diet program software, the selling software, the marriage software, and it doesn't work, and they think it was the software that didn't work. Obviously, it's not the case, since that same software is working great for many other people. The problem is it was installed on a faulty operating system. So, that's what this book is really about, is it's the underlying operating system. If you get it right, then you can install any software on top of it and achieve any goal that you set your sights on.
So some of those principles that you believe that are just core, basic principles are written in the book. One of them is the fact that I know that you talk about is you got to work hard. You got to work hard. That choices. I love this quote in chapter 2. Is in essence, you make your choices, and then your choices make you. Expound on that, please, a little bit.
Well, the one control factor in our lives, I mean, it doesn't matter where somebody is right now as they listen to me. Their waist size, their bank balance, the love or lack thereof in their marriage or the relationship they have with their kids, every single one of those effects is nothing but the accumulated effect of all the choices they've made since they've entered this experience. I mean, we all come into it the same, naked, scared, and ignorant. After that, there's just an accumulation of choices that have ultimately compounded into the outcome that you've got right now. And so if you want to start making a change to your outcomes, to your effects, to your results, you got to start making different choices. And those choices are not big, gargantuan, breakthrough choices. They are moment-to-moment, day-to-day choices and decisions that once you start taking in a different direction, it changes the entire trajectory of your life. And so that's what the underlying foundation to it all is, ultimately the choices that you're making day to day, moment to moment.
That's absolutely true. You've said so many things in here about the fact that once you start to choose different things, start to happen different, and you start to realize that we are who we have become by what we have developed ourselves to be. So we got to work on ourselves. We've got to develop ourselves, and it has to be the cumulative effect where it keeps growing. That's why in chapter 1, when you talk about where you could give a person a penny a day and double it, or you could give them $1 million and not realizing that if they took the penny a day and doubled it over time and over that 30 days, they would do better than just taking the $1 million. It's the cumulative effect. That's why compound interest has such an impact on our success and our finances. And the compound impact of the compound effect on success is stated so wonderfully throughout the book that we must become better. We must use goals, and we must make sure we work on ourselves. We must develop ourselves. We must make wise choices. I love the thing about your wife with the Thanksgiving journal and the fact that you said you'll give your wife a gift. Folks, this was profound, and we're going to get ready to take a break, but I want Darren to talk more about this when we come back. He said, I will give my wife a gift. So for a year, he wrote down all the wonderful things she did and all the things that he would see in her and how wonderful she was. And at Thanksgiving, he gave it and said, I'm thankful for you. And he said she just broke down in tears and said, no one has given me such a thoughtful gift. And so I thought that was profound. And then you said, I had to look at myself and see, am I the person who I'm talking about in this message? And I've got to be that kind of person. I thought it was profound. Folks, we'll let you talk more about that, Darren, when we come back. We'll be right back. This is Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Show with my guest, Darren Hardy. We'll be right back, and for sure, the best is yet to come.
Life had enough ups and downs, but Lord, since I met you.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and for years I've told people that in order to have a greater life, it starts by having greater individual days. If you have a great day and you repeat that great day 7 times, you've had a great week. And you repeat that week 4 times, you've had a greater month. And then repeat that month 12 times, you've had a greater year, and you're on your way to a greater life. And it starts with that individual day. I recommend you start each day with something powerful. I call it the pure, the powerful, and the positive. Rather than starting your day with bad news, how many people got killed or how many children got snatched or how many fires there were, I recommend you start your day with something to inspire and empower and encourage you to make this day a great day. We're excited to announce the start of Jolly TV on my Facebook page. Go to Willie Jolley, Willie.Jolley on Facebook. Just go to Willie.Jolley on Facebook and get ready for a great day and a great life. Have a great day on purpose.
Yourself what the future holds for you. Headline news got you scared. Like everyone else, you want peace and happiness. But is there any chance of finding it out there? How can you forget the one true thing in all this confusion? What you desire is already guaranteed. Promised by our Maker to all who believe. Ooh, take you as far as you wanna go. Far you wanna go. Put your heart in it. Put your heart in it. It shows that it's time to let it show. It's time to let it show.
Oh, yes, the sky is the limit. You're listening to music from Money Making Music and Motivation, my new CD and DVD package. It's on my website at williejolly.com. On the breaks of every intro and outro of every segment, you'll hear some of the songs from the CD, but you can also go to my website, williejolly.com, and you can actually hear samples of it on my website, and you can download it onto your iPod or your MP3 player, and it's 77 cents. What a great deal. So 77 cents per song, or you can get the whole package, which is a CD of music, a CD of my motivational minutes for my daily radio show, and if you're in the D.C. area, you can hear that on WHUR right before the Steve Harvey Morning Show every morning, or you can see the my Live Better with Willie Jolley segment on the CBS affiliate here in D.C. every morning at 6:35. So either way, you get to hear something that will empower, inspire you first thing in the morning, and you can get it on the website and get something to keep you going. I've got my guest and my friend Darren Hardy, who is the publisher of Success Magazine and one of the great thought leaders in America. And he has a book called The Compound Effect. And my friend Greg Gilbert down in Arkansas said, you got to read this book, Willie. And I am telling you, I have enjoyed this book tremendously. Darren, before we talk more about the book and all your ideas, where can people get this fabulous book?
It's on thecompoundeffect.com. Just so simply go on to thecompoundeffect.com. It offers some free resources, some free downloads, and free first chapter of the book, as well as the audio chapter of the book as well. So thecompoundeffect.com. Fantastic.
And it's an audio version, right?
Yeah, we got a full 6-hour enhanced audio version where I include a lot of additional material that's not in the book from private interviews I've done with some of today's top achievers that also talk about some of the core principles that are covered in the book.
Outstanding. Thecompoundeffect.com. Now, I was talking about, before we went to the break, about the Thanksgiving Journal. Tell people a little more. I just gave them a quick synopsis, but you can give them more detail on that.
Yeah, I have a tradition where every Thanksgiving I handwrite cards to the people that I care about and tell how grateful I am that they're in my life. And then when I went to write my wife's card, I was having a hard time because we had gotten into a tiff earlier that day. But I forced myself to look past the incident and all the reasons why I was really grateful for all that she is. And after completing the card, my feelings totally changed, and then we connected positively the rest of the day. And then I thought, what if I could do this and have this feeling every day? And that's when the new idea was born. So that Thanksgiving, I decided to keep a Thanksgiving journal for my wife. So every day for an entire year, I logged at least one thing that I appreciated about her. You know, it could be just the way she interacted with her friends, or how she cared for the dogs, or the fresh food that she prepared that day, you know, whatever. And so I was looking for the things that my wife was doing that touched me or revealed attributes or characteristics or qualities that I appreciated, and I wrote them down secretly for an entire year. So by the end of the year, I had filled the entire journal. Now, the fun thing, Willie, was that the person most affected by this gift was me. All that journaling forced me to focus on my wife's positive aspects, and I was consciously looking for all the things that she was doing right, and so that heartfelt focus overwhelmed anything I might otherwise have complained about, and I fell more deeply in love with her all over again, and we experienced, one of the best years of our marriage, and it's only gotten better since. So it was just the idea of looking for what she was doing right and journaling it, and it changed how I showed up in our marriage, and that changed how she responded to me, and that's what compounded the depth and love and intimacy that we shared in our relationship over the period of that entire year.
And what I want to say to folks is I've got a lot of friends who are really struggling with their relationships. I've been counseling and talking because my wife and I, thank God, have been married just in June 25 years. We celebrate 25th anniversary. And we tell people that it's a part of that is to let each other know that you appreciate them. Do it on a constant, ongoing manner, because we just assume that people know that. But just tell them, thank you for that meal. Thank you for that little thing here. Or, you look great today. Little things make the big difference. Also, you said something in there that you changed. You became better. You became somebody better as a husband and as a mate by the process, and looked at yourself better, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that was the whole key. Really, it was my change of focus. She was the same. I mean, she didn't do anything differently. It was my change of the focus, seeing what was positive rather than what was negative, focusing on what she was doing right than what she was doing wrong, and then thus I held her in my eyes differently. I behaved differently. I responded differently, and that made her respond to me differently, and that's what cycled the whole thing in a positive direction.
Great. Now, in the book, you constantly talk about the compound effect and how little things can make a big difference in building momentum. What is the strategy for breaking a bad habit and develop a new habit?
Well, you talk about building momentum. If I were to boil down the number one trait responsible for all the success of my life, I think it would be this. It's my unyielding and relentless commitment to consistency. It's also the reason why I think I can beat anyone at most anything given enough time to compete. So, I observe this to be the biggest reason why people don't end up with the results that they want in life, Willie. Most people operate in what I call fits and starts, a great flurry of activity that then flames out. Most people don't have a problem starting. Everybody gets excited. They join, they sign up, they begin. Millions of people make New Year's resolutions. They start diet programs, join gyms, buy personal development books, go to seminars, hire coaches. They might even read Success Magazine or listen to this program, but their life doesn't. is that? And I think it's because success is not defined by how you start, but how you continue over a long period of time. So, admittedly, you have some serious influences working against you when you start to start something. You've got decades of trained and conditioned habits that would be pulling you back to previous patterns. You've got the natural waning of motivation that dissipates over time, and it can be tough to break previous habits and install the new ones that you need to take you where you want to go and sustain that motivation and discipline and enthusiasm to stay on track. And those are the core issues that I address in the book. How to become fully aware of the many sabotaging habits you might have that you might be completely unaware of, and then how to uproot them, and then what are the key disciplines you need to install in order to keep yourself on track over a long, sustained period of time so that the compound effect can kick in and catapult you to that extraordinary success. So the key to all that, Willie, is consistency. Mastering this, and there's really no one you can't beat at most anything, given enough time, and no goal that you can't accomplish.
You got to share with people about the money tree experience with your assistant, Kathleen, how she went from making $40,000 a year to becoming a millionaire by a simple little technique you shared with her. You got to share that. I thought it was profound.
Yeah, well, Kathleen listened to one of my talking about financial wealth building and saving 10% of your money, and the next day she came into my office, threw all her bills on my desk, and said, "There's no way I can save 10%. I don't have any money left over after all these bills." And I looked at her bills, and it was true. She didn't have any money left over. I said, "So here's what we're going to do." Then she said, "I want a raise." And I said, "Well, I'll do you one better. I'll show you how to become wealthy." And so I said, let's do this. Let's just save 1%. So take $33 out of next month's income and open up a savings account, and we'll do that $33 by you just bringing in your lunch one day a week. The other 4 days you could still go out to lunch like you are, and that over a period of a month will save you $33. The next month, another $33, changing her cable subscription. The next month, another 1% and $33 because she started brewing coffee in the office rather than going to Starbucks. So by the end of a year, she was saving 10% of her money. And then she was also investing in her own personal growth and development. And so she brought ideas to me that said, "Hey, if I save the company money in my spare time, will you let me keep 10% of it?" And I said, "So I save 90% and you get 10%. Sounds like a deal." Then she said, "Hey, I got some ideas about how we could grow revenue. If my ideas pan out, I keep 15% of the additive revenue." I said, "I get 85, you get 15. Sounds like a deal." By the end of the second year, Willie, she was making $100,000 a year on the same exact $40,000 base salary that I was paying her. And I ran into her at the airport a couple of years ago. She now has her own consultant business, practice management company, and she makes $250,000 a year. And she has saved and invested and is worth well more than $1 million today. All after not being able to save 10% of a $40,000 a year salary only a decade earlier.
Folks, I hope y'all all got that. That was one of the most profound pieces that I stumbled on in reading the book, and then I just had to read more. And everywhere I'd go, I'd get another piece, another gem, another pearl. This is a fantastic book. It's called The Compound Effect. Darren Hardy. Darren, hold on. I got one more segment with you. I mean, these great interviews go so quick, but I got to get some more of this great information. Stay tuned. Folks, you're listening to Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Show across America, and for sure, the best is yet to come.
You can call on me.
Call me.
You can call on me.
Pick up the phone.
You can call
and call me. Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and people often ask, how did I go from a broke, busted nightclub singer to become a best-selling author and to be voted one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world by the 175,000 members of Toastmasters International? The answer is that I decided to invest and changed my thinking, invested in my mindset, and decided to change my inputs because inputs determine outputs. I heard about a seminar years ago when I was just getting started. I was making about $100 a speech. And I heard this seminar that was creating millionaires, and it cost $10,000, but the guy was getting results. I didn't have that kind of money, but I decided to borrow it because I learned that there's a price for success, the price of college, the price of going to school, the price of education. And there's a price for success, and then there's a cost for not paying the price, the cost of staying the same. And that cost is greater than the price. It's too expensive. And so I went, and it changed my life. And I came back and quickly made $100,000. I heard a similar story from Dr. Dave Martin, how he went to a success rally, heard a speaker who inspired him. He and his friend said, wow, that's changed my life. The speaker had a package of materials to help build wealth. The package cost $1,500. And that was all the money Dr. Dave had to his name. Dr. Dave's friend asked, do you think this stuff is worth it? Dr. Dave thought for a moment. He said, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. But I do know that I'm worth it. I'm worth it. He invested that money in that package and used the materials to grow his thinking. He grew his mindset. He shared how that $1,500 investment has gone on to generate millions in revenues. He's a multimillionaire. And he has homes now in Arizona and Florida. I want to say to you, it's time to invest in you. I want to give you some materials that will help you, grow your mindset, grow your future, grow your finances. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire. wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get some materials that will inspire your success and help you find that there's a price for success, but there's a cost for not paying the price. And the cost is always greater than the price. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire and get the bag, the box, or any of the materials there and keep growing your wealth. And remember, as a man thinketh, so as he is, and your best is yet to come.
Midnight Phoenix rises from the ashes of the past, shimmering in the darkness. It spreads its wings at last. Golden sun illuminates grassy plains below, and crimson blossoms bloom again where nothing used to grow. Small steps taken on a mighty long road. Small steps taken on a mighty long road. Small steps taken on a mighty long road.
Small steps taken on a mighty long road, taken from money, making music, and motivation. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And that's why we recorded that song, taken from the Broadway play, Skiggy. And I'm grateful for them letting me re-record it and reproduce it for this album. Well, my guest today is Darren Hardy, and he's the author of The Compound Effect, Multiplying Your Success, One Simple Step at a Time, small steps. And that's why we wanted to play that song with that. Darren, before we get these last few, the great interviews always go fast. So at some point, you're going to have to come back and we'll share more ideas because you're just fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It'd be my privilege.
All right. So, again, where can people get the book and any other things you want to share with people that might be of interest and value to them?
Yeah, they can get the Compound Effect at thecompoundeffect.com, and a bunch of free resources, free downloads, and then access to the book and the audio program is available for sale there. The other thing, Willie, that I would recommend, obviously, as publisher of Success Magazine, is to subscribe to Success, and that's simply at success.com. I mean, we pour our love, heart, sweat, blood, and tears into that publication each month. We search the world over for today's greatest achievers, not just those that are talking about it, but those that are out there doing it and in a big way and creating great success, whole life, not just in business and in wealth, but in relationships and in well-being, and then in contribution, making a difference. And so the profiles in there are extraordinary, and we put a CD in there every month with interviews of many of these great achievers that I dig into and pull out their best ideas. So Success Magazine would be something I would enthusiastically recommend to anybody who's trying to do good things and big things in today's marketplace. So those would be the two things that I'd point people to.
Excellent, excellent. I endorse both of those folks, and I want you to get Success Magazine, and you can get it sent to your home. You can get it on the newsstand, but I love getting it sent right home, and you got some of the great folks. And every now and then they get a guy who's on XM radio.
That's right.
And let him be featured. And I just love that article y'all did on me, featured article earlier this year, and renamed me the Comeback King, and I appreciate that. Well, we've been talking. Go ahead, Darryl.
I was just going to say, we got a tremendous amount of positive feedback, and everybody loved loved your story, and so we were excited to be able to present your great glory in the pages of Success. So it was great. It was it touched a lot of people's lives and made a big impact, so we appreciate that.
Oh, man, my pleasure, man, and I'm very grateful. Well, you talk in the book about the fact that there's a concept called the rhythm register. It's a secret weapon. Tell us how it works.
Well, as simple as this, we are always one or two behavior changes away from a major breakthrough. I mean, take any area of your life, whether it's business, relationship, health, parenting, whatever. And there's probably one or two behavior changes, one or two disciplines that if you did every day would totally transform your results. So I have what's called a massive transformation formula, and it's these three steps. Number one, take your top three goals in life right now. What are your top three goals? And then number two, what are the one or two behaviors that would be most important to accomplishing that goal? And then three is just measure those behaviors every day until they become a habit. And if you continue them over a long enough period of time, those key behaviors to accomplishing those few goals, your life will not be recognizable to you, your family, or friends 12 to 18 months down the road. I mean, Willie, it is as simple as that. One or two key behaviors attached to the goal that you're after, measure it every day so that there's some awareness and accountability to it. Let 12 or 18 months spin around the sun as are on the planet here, and your life will be unrecognizable. The results will be extraordinary. It's as simple as that. And the Rhythm Register is a dashboard document that allows you to sort of keep track of all that progress on a day-to-day basis. And you can actually get it for free on thecompoundeffect.com. It's something you can download entirely for free, whether you do or don't even buy the book.
Oh, fantastic! So you can get that. It's a form or some sort of dashboard, you say?
Yeah, it's a form. Yeah, it's a form so that it shows it takes your top three goals, takes the key behaviors, and gives you a daily accountability system to track it.
Folks, that's free. You know, I know y'all like free. So free is a good thing. Free is a good thing. At thecompoundeffect.com, look for the rhythm register and start doing this. Just try it. What do you have to lose? You got nothing to lose but a little time, and you do your top three goals. Then what are the main behaviors that will help you achieve those goals? And then you have to just measure it daily, and you'll start to see change. I know that I changed when I started changing just a little thing when I wake up. When I just started to change when I would wake up and what I would do in the first hour after waking up. Was I going to watch TV, or was I going to fill my mind with something pure and powerful and positive? Was I going to start something to work on my exercise program? Something rather than just going through the regular motions that everybody else is doing. And it has an impact. There are so many things. I mean, I could spend a day. I've got one of the things I'll go, and because we only got short time, and I want to focus a little bit on. You talk about the importance of mentors, and one of your mentors was Jim Rohn, who so many people who are success teachers now credit with being his influence, having an influence. Tony Robbins, yourself, Les Brown, me. So many have looked at Jim Rohn as such a powerful part of it. Chris Widener. What are some of the lessons you learned from Jim Rohn?
Well, I talked about the day that I walked into that seminar in 1994, and he said three or four things that totally changed it for me. And the first thing was, if you want to have more, and we all want to have more, right? That's why we're listening to this program. That's why we're reading these books. That's why we're going to seminars. We want to either have a more financial abundance. We want to have better health. We want to have better relationships. experience more freedom, more joy, more happiness, what have you. So we all want to have more. And he said, if you want to have more, he didn't say you have to do more. He said you have to become more. You know, what you pursue eludes you. It could be like chasing butterflies. It's not what you need to do; it's who you need to become. You will attract the success by the person you become. If you want to improve your life, you have to improve. If you want things to change, you have to change. And it really changed it for me, Willie, because I always thought I just had to do more. And he said, no, you have to become more. And the greater you become, the more success you will attract by the person you become. And so, you know, that was one of the biggest lessons I think I took away from Jim, and it was the mind shift that ended up changing everything for me. So I really saw personal growth and improvement as the key to the kingdom of abundance, success, wealth, and happiness.
That is absolutely true. When you become better, your life becomes better. Here's another one that I had to take a little note from. Who you have to become. That's one of the things that comes off so wonderfully. But in the book, you talk about the fact that to find the right girl, when you wanted to find your wife, you said, I'm going to write down, here are the things I want for my wife. Here's what I want the attributes. And you wrote all these nice attributes down, and then you looked at them.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.